The worth of souls is great in the sight of God. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. I know this is interesting. I appreciate it. There's 85% of people struggle with self-esteem, with low self-esteem. Are you one of them? I know that I've had that issue. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was clear and visible to everyone else, but inside there was a personal struggle. And I've always been able to see the value in others far easier than I was able to see it for myself. We are children of God, literal offsprings. And that, as members of the church, and not being members of the church, is an important thing, knowing that is part of our roots. And I've always wondered on whether or not, what is self-esteem and how did I get it? When I was deciding what to say, low self-esteem came to mind. And it starts about the age that we learn our names, which is, I was kind of surprised, but it totally makes sense. And it can last a lifetime if we do nothing. Low self-esteem has many society issues: poverty, money, divorce, the breakdown of the family, that kind of thing. There's also a discrepancy between who we believe we are and reality, meaning that that we have had a set of, we've been taught one thing and understand another. And then, of course, there's the distorted perspectives, which is a learned behavior. It's also Satan's playground, when he, making us see things differently than they really are. We also have had, a person can create low self-esteem because they perceive and have an idea of how we should be treated and, what others, how we should be treated and how we, express ourselves. Did not say that right, sorry. Anyway, we can create low self-esteem just in our thoughts and keeping a negative, thought process going unless we make a choice to change the way we think. If we do nothing, we will always feel this way. So I'm challenging you to do something. And that's really, identifying where you need to change areas of your life and making that commitment to change. Low self-esteem is sparked by our desire to get our needs met because we need attention and love and affirmation and we need to feel like we belong. And we need to be regarded by others. And that's really where the misconception, the expectations, when those aren't met, we want to know why, and then we start blaming ourselves, and it starts this bad cycle. When we're told that we've done something bad over and over and over, we start to believe it. But doing something bad and being bad are two very different things. I want to tell you a little story. The first time I heard someone say that I was pretty, I was in a foster home, and I was 16, and I was slept in the top bunk with a light that was very close to my head. But I have always worked, and anyway, I remember right before I fell asleep, this girl who was coming in at an emergency situation peeked over my bed and looked at me, and she said, "Why is she in here? She's so pretty." And then I fell asleep. However, when you think about that, first, what does she say about herself? And second, for me to remember that event as the first time I was told that I was pretty is pretty profound. So, I had years of negative reinforcement by not recognizing that I had low self-esteem early on in my life. And allowing those things really sustained my childhood belief that I was born bad. Low self-esteem really affects everything. But Joseph Smith said, if we do not comprehend the character of God, we do not comprehend ourselves. And that was in 1844. I think that is remarkable. It is possible to shift our perspective and see ourselves differently, see ourselves as God sees us. And I really want to help you understand that how we feel about ourselves has a direct correlation with our relationship with God. And that's kind of sobering if you think about it. But we need to seek Him. This is a step, right? We need to ask Him for help to change, to be different. And we need to believe Him that He knows that we are worth it and capable. He will sustain us through our greatest trials, and I have been a product of that, and going through my own Gethsemane. I remember when the print on the linoleum, square tile, that was lined on the bed, and the four corners made this star, and each tile met and gridded the next perfectly. It was aligned. The floor was worn and scuffed, blue and white chips, almost so it didn't have a design. And I don't remember how I got on the floor, but I do remember when I looked up and was being lifted to my bed, that I saw our Savior suffering on the cross and bleeding from every pore. And several years before that, I had really was seeking for a different kind of relationship with God, and nothing, or little steps, but nothing big. But we have the ability to change. And I challenge you that right now, you can make a difference in your own life. You can change and feel His influence. You can be like Joseph Smith and seek after truth and believe. We need to gain confidence in ourselves in order to change. We have a divine potential, a purpose, and nature. We're made in His image, and we have a divine worth and value. We are children of a loving God. My self-esteem has a direct correlation with my relationship to God. I challenge you to have hope, courage, faith, and charity as you seek after understanding the parent-child relationship. He is our Father. He loves us. He wants us to be successful, and He wants us to remove all barriers between us and Him and see ourselves through His eyes. And we do have the ability to see ourselves as God sees us.